The Congo Hour. I am your host, Wayna, and I have a special co-host that I will introduce in 1 second. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Trippy and I so much appreciate all the love that we have been given on the streets and the stores, on social media platforms. Thank you so very much. And I want to say a special thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Congo for even making this happen again for us. Trust me, if it wasn't for Mr. and Mrs. Congo, Trippy and I would not be able to come back on the show. So I appreciate them so much. So my next guest, so let me give you some backdrop so I can tell it and he can't tell it. So we were at a birthday party, and I remembered that Trippy would not be here to pre-record the show, because our shows are pre-recorded, just so you'll know. And I remember Trippy mentioning this person. So we're at the party, and I'm like, Meeshach. And I'm sure when I say Meeshach, everybody know who I'm talking about. Meeshach, you're going to be my guest.
Yes.
Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So, welcome to the Congo Hour.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me. It was an impromptu, but yes, listen, I'm just happy to be here. You already know y'all family to me, so
yes,
anytime I could come on and be a part of all this,
yeah,
I'm just happy to do it.
I was trying to think. I know that Trippy so I think Gundy thinks he introduced me to you, but I knew you before.
From back in like the River Club days.
See?
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, you did.
I'm my fault.
So,
yeah, so from
so
back
yeah,
in the
Trippy
River Club
introduced
days.
me
Yeah.
to you back then. Wow.
Because I met
missed that
Trippy back
place.
in 92, as I met Trippy back at Dell State.
In 92.
In 92, and we just clicked from then. So once we graduated and stuff, and the River Club was like the #1 spot, going back to the Congos, right?
Yes, yes,
Mr. and
yes.
Mrs. Congo, because I was at their birthday party a couple weeks
yes.
ago, and it was super popping. And to be honest, I was busy that night, but there was no way I was gonna not come up here, because they, to me, and you know, I'm not originally from Delaware, I'm from New York, but to me, they are the highest echelon of black families
Yes.
in the state of Delaware.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So even the Congo name, I mess with them, call them Congo Obama. You know what I mean? But they've done so much
Yes.
for the state of Delaware, for the community of Wilmington specifically,
Yes.
that every time that I get an opportunity to come and be a part of whatever they got going on, you know, I'm there. So
And
here we are.
you know what? Being a part of the family, you are definitely correct. And I know them to have done things that for people that no one will ever know about. So yeah.
No, they've taken care of a lot of people.
Yes.
And even and they've passed that down to their son.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Trippy got whatever he got with him, but he definitely will always take care of the less fortunate.
Yes.
I mean, that's how I met him. I didn't know who he was in college. I just knew he was cool. And then people started saying like, oh, you know him? Like, how you know him? And then I started hearing little stuff like, yo, he did this for somebody. And I'm like, for real?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're here on this planet for. You know, they've been blessed. You know, I don't know their entire background, but I know they have resources, and they don't just keep it to themselves.
Yeah.
They make sure they take care of people that need their help. And that's why they're so loved out here, you know?
Yes.
So here we are, Congo Hour.
Right, I know.
With Meeshach, straight
With
straight out the fire.
And you're from where? Because, I mean,
The
you hear the
Bronx,
accent.
The Bronx, New York, born and raised in the Bronx, single mother household. You know, I grew up with just my moms. Shout out to my mom's Beverly. She's gonna be watching.
I never
you know.
met your mom. I
Yeah,
don't
so
think.
and she's coming out here. So she
Okay.
lives in Florida, but she's coming up in a couple weeks. So I'm gonna bring her up, and
Oh,
she
we
can
can take a
bring
trip down.
Oh, that too, yeah, for real, where it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
So one day that's where we'll, you know, me and my wife, and that's where we'll retire down in Florida. But
Okay.
I grew up with just her taking care of me, you know what I'm saying, and found out about Delaware. Well, found out about Del State.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, because
I was getting ready to ask
I
you.
didn't know about, like, honestly, like, so my culture is Jamaican. So we would go out the country a lot, go to Jamaican stuff. But if we were coming south, it was only to like really Maryland.
Right.
Right? So we would just drive through Delaware.
Right,
like,
right.
So I'd never forget telling my friends, like, yo, I'm going to Del State. it's in Delaware. They was like, oh, we know that. It's in Pennsylvania, right? I said, no, it's his own state.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that's the beauty of Delaware. So I found out about it because of college. I didn't know about HBCUs. School days and different world put me on. And I said, I need to come and visit one for myself. And I came down here with my mother. And it was just an amazing experience. It was similar to what I was seeing on TV.
Okay.
So I was like, yo, that's it.
So wait, my children, Amber and Hunter, better known as DJ Blair, because when I say Hunter, nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Those are my peoples. I love you kids.
They were, that's where they went. So all the years that they've been a part of Del State, I've never been to homecoming until, was it this year? Last year.
Last year, 2022.
Yo.
So what? Tell me about it. How you felt?
It was like off the chain. I never experienced anything. I felt like I was in college. It was amazing.
And that's what comes with HBCUs, right? It's not just about the education, because education, you're gonna get out as much as you put in.
Right.
You could send somebody to the worst school, and if they go stay focused and do their thing, they're gonna be successful.
Yeah.
Right? So with a black college, it was about that experience. Right? Because even with me, I went to a all-male Catholic academy. Like, they wanted me to go to like Georgetown. Shout out to my man Kari.
Right.
We went to the same high school in the Bronx. So like they went.
You and who?
Kari DeWitt. He's from the Bronx too. So we went to the same high school.
Never knew
That's
that.
why you got me on the Congo Hour.
No, I know.
Mount St. Michael Academy. So he's from the
Wait.
Bronx too.
Okay, I don't.
We
I
went
never knew that.
we went to Mount St. Michael Academy, the home of Diddy and a couple of other
Okay.
famous people. And so he went to Georgetown, because going to that school as a black male, if you had the academics and everything,
Right.
they were gonna push you to a PWI. So I remember telling my college counselor, like, yo, I wanna go to Hillman. He's like, there is no Hillman. I'm like, there is. It might not be named Hillman, but I'm gonna find what it is. And he was like, this is not why you got this level of education. I said, you don't get it. So going back to the whole thing, it's about the experience.
Yeah.
Right? And you go, you get your education, you stay focused, but it's a camaraderie. Like coming up with these people, I'm an only child from my mom's, right? My father's a whole different story, right?
Okay.
But these Hornets is my brothers and sisters. Even the ones that don't like me and we don't get along, they they are my family.
Right.
So that's how the whole homecoming. So you mentioned homecoming. You was at our party.
Yes.
Right. So the DSU circle. That's me and my man SWAT, Jamal Perkins. You know, for the correction streets out here.
Right.
But that's where we was at the other day at his birthday party. So happy belated. Shout out to SWAT, Tink, a great couple. You know what I'm saying? One of those other black future families coming up. And that's who the DSU circle is, me, him, and then of course Trip. And it just started where we understood how important homecoming was. And homecoming at Del State like started turning into like all these other places where it was like real expensive to go to the parties, and it was more about business than it was about us just coming back together.
Right.
So that's when we was like, nah, that's not how we get down. So we put together that first event, and everything is free.
Yeah.
Right? Open bar,
Food, everything.
any kind of food you want.
Music, entertainment.
Everything. So this year, fast forward 15 years later, right? So you came to the first one this year. This year, our corporate partners were Buffalo Wild Wings and Jersey Mike's.
Yes.
Shout out to your HBCU, Zoetic Couture, Stay True. A lot of these companies that we deal with, but we had some major sponsors that once again allows us to provide for our clients.
Yes.
Right? Because my whole thing is, and the misconception is like, I'm out here getting money. If I was out here getting money, then we would be charging people to come in.
Right.
I've been to all these other HBCUs and PWIs. There is no totally free event that you're gonna go to. Before COVID, we had 1,500 people at that event, right? And we make sure we do it all because of the love of our brothers and sisters, all for that homecoming experience. So anybody who has never been to a HBCU homecoming, I would suggest you go to one. Come to Del State specifically. Come to the DSU Circle Joints. We'll take care of you. And if you want your kids to go to a HBCU, take them to a homecoming. Or get in touch with somebody that you know at the school and just take them on a day that they know everybody's going to be out. That's all you need.
Yeah. But when you thought about that, I thought about Ashley Christopher. with the HBCU week.
Correct. They're doing amazing things with HBCU week. Big up to Ashley, big up to Clint, big up to Blake, because you know Clint and Blake are Hornets, you know, and just respect to everything that they got going on, you know. And I think that's what we needed, the whole brand of HBCUs, because you know, I've been shouting HBCUs forever.
Okay.
And if you went to a HBCU, you felt that way as well. But when COVID came around, and then all of a sudden America realized that they were racist and they need to start. I said the R word? Oh my God.
No, I'm saying
it was a news flash. Like,
wow.
Oh, we need to invest into black businesses. Oh, there's black colleges. Yes, there are black colleges, and we've been underfunded forever compared to the big ones in the state. So it was our time. But the thing is, like Malcolm said, right? We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. We've been here.
Right.
So corporate America and all that, we appreciate y'all putting the money into it and all that. But we understand that y'all doing it not for the love of it.
Right.
But for the business aspect. Right? Yeah. And that doesn't matter to some people. But for us HBCU alumni and supporters, it's a feeling that doesn't matter who's supporting it. We good.
Right.
We're proud of who we are, what we accomplished. And if you start to look around, a lot of the major people in Black America, entrepreneurship business, they went to HBCUs. Yeah. It's just that it wasn't being promoted at the time.
Right, right. That's so true. I'm sitting here thinking, I was really looking forward to, my granddaughter will be a part of it next year.
She's going to Del State?
She's going to Del, I hope so. I pray she is.
My daughter goes there now.
I really want her to. I don't know. I want her to. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, if she decides to go there, then I don't know if she want to party with her Mimi, but I'm going to be there.
If you don't stop playing.
What?
Mimi is not going to be there partying on campus with you, okay?
No, I'm talking about at homecoming.
Oh, okay, all right.
Come on now.
But she ain't going to be there anyway because she too young to come to our homecoming parties. But I feel you because my daughter goes there too.
Okay.
Right? So, and that's like the ultimate thing when you say you send your kids somewhere as well. So one thing we didn't get into is like what I do.
Well, that was next.
There you go.
You must have read my mind.
Did I order teleprompter?
Because I wanted to talk to you about that, because I think, for you to had went to school there, graduated, and now you are a part of DSU.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
So I graduated from Del State and started working in corporate America. I did corporate America for 20 years, and I finished my last 10 with Chemours.
Okay.
One of the biggest, from DuPont. I started at DuPont, went to Chemours. Shout out to Mark Newman. Chemours, we got some big things coming on the way. But I knew it was over for me in corporate America, right? Everybody's different. I'm not saying that everybody has to be an entrepreneur, but I just knew at that time it was time for me to go. And I started my own business, Minds Brand Management. So we do digital marketing, social media management, branding, really, you know. And that just led into a relationship with Del State because first off, I was doing homecoming for so many years. So we already had a relationship, it just wasn't official. But when I started to do more with the university, with the Alumni Association, then it led into a relationship with, so I have an accounting degree.
Okay.
Right, so I came out of the College of Business. Shout out to Dean Mike Casson. He is the Dean of the College of Business. He's a very forward and progressive thinking person, and we sat down and started to talk about how our brands could align to benefit the university, the alumni, and everybody else. So proud to say that, you know, I do have a contract with the university as the brand ambassador for the College of Business. So I'm out here just making sure that we get as much as the top talent that we can get. So we're starting to treat it like sports.
Okay.
You know, where you go around, you go on recruiting trips.
Yes.
And because you want to see these kids, you want to let them know about it. And you want to try to get the top talent.
Right.
Shout out to Patterson Charter School of Science and Technology. I was just up there 2 weeks ago for a career day. Met some really great students. And and for me, that's a big part of it too, right? Because you can do a lot of things and you can make money, which I'm not, so nobody look for it. But is having an impact.
Right, yes.
That makes it even more so. So I'll keep saying it until I start making really good money.
Right. And then once you stop saying it, then we know you
then
made
you already
it
know I
money.
made it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
no, seriously, it is about the impact. It's about reaching these youths. Like I said, growing up in an inner city, I didn't know about HBCUs. So if it wasn't for me seeing that TV or that movie, but what about the kids that didn't see that?
Right.
So they need to see people like me that came from these neighborhoods that made it out.
Right.
Not to say like I was in the, catch them to, I was in the mud. Nah, but the 80s and 90s in New York City was the crack era, and it was super rough.
Right, yes.
And you go through all types of things. I've been through all types of stuff.
Yeah.
But then again, it comes back to my name, Meeshach.
Okay.
Right? Because it is Sunday, so everybody should know,
Right,
watching
right,
the Congo Hour, the story of Shadrach, Meshach,
Yes.
and Abednego.
Yes. Well, not everybody.
Really?
Everybody might not.
That's true, because
yeah.
a lot of people will ask me, where's your name from?
Right.
And then I take it for granted. So first of all, shout out to my cousin Shadrach. So we do have a Shadrach.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He was at SWAT's
serious?
party. He was he had on the black leather jacket, kind of looked like Indian. Like my family, we look like the United Colors of Benetton. But Shadrach was there at SWAT's party.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is.
So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, for those who are not familiar with the story, right? King Nebuchadnezzar said that when he rang the bell or played the music, everyone had to bow down and worship his idol god. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was like, yo, we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And as a result, he threw them in the fiery furnace.
Yes.
Instead of 3 shadows, it was 4.
Yes.
Everyone around the furnace perished, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego just walked out the fire.
The best part about that whole story is that they came out not even
unscathed,
looking like
not
they've
even
been
smelling
in the fire.
like smoke. So for me, that is the best part of that for me is that has been my life. Like, so I used to be so upset when my mom would scream me out the window with that Jamaican accent. Like, that was the joke. Meeshach! And everybody's making fun of it. I'm like, damn, why didn't I have a regular name, right? Until I got older and was like, yo, well, first off, now I'm happy I don't have a regular name.
Yeah.
Like everybody
Me
else.
too.
But then I realized, like, when I started looking back at my life, I was in a lot of fires that I came out totally unscathed.
Yes.
And that's when I was like, oh, that's why I have this name. It's not just something that's on a birth certificate. It's been my life.
Yes.
So I'm proud of it.
Yeah, and she knew what to name you.
So she didn't name me.
Oh, she didn't. Who named you?
My dad named me.
Oh,
right. So
okay.
my father's a Rastafarian.
Okay.
Jamaican dread dude, and although they don't subscribe to the philosophies of the Bible, they study it.
Okay.
Just so they can know other religions. And I didn't grow up with my father. And I asked him, I wanted, whenever I go to Jamaica, first off, we are going to Jamaica this year. Del State, yard to yard, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
But whenever I go to Jamaica, I make sure I go visit him. And I asked him one day, because I wasn't really the type, we didn't have a relationship where I asked him all this stuff. But I asked him one day, I just called him out the blue, like, why Meeshach? Because he has 5 kids with 5 women. But they were Mark, Michael, Michelle. So all these regular names, and then you pop me off.
Right.
And so I had to say, why Meeshach? And he said, he was like, because I knew you were going to grow up in Babylon. That's what a lot of people would call America and the situation. Yes. I knew he was going to grow up in Babylon, and I felt that you need to be protected from the fire.
I love it.
So if that was the only thing that he gave me, that in life, I'll take it.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It really is.
So I don't feel no way at all.
Yeah. Wow. So I want to go back because I saw you on an airplane.
Yes.
I was like,
yes. So I am a pilot. My kids and wife is getting sick of me saying that, and I do have to shout them out, of course. So shout out to Ileana, Izzy, Malia, and Marley. I've been married for 23 years, and I got 3 wonderful children. So I tell them now all the time, I'm a pilot. Right, because I done flew that little half hour already. What a lot of people don't realize, even me included, is that Delaware State University has an aviation program.
Yes.
Right? You can learn to fly, to be either a pilot or to work in the airline industry right at Del State.
Yes.
So I was in the College of Business doing accounting and didn't know anything about it. Another thing they do is they give, if you're a student, you get an exploratory visit, like what I did, where they'll take you up in a plane and let you see, and actually let me fly. Shout out to Jermaine Morris. He is a 2023 Top Gun Maverick Award winner. They give that to the top pilot at the school. He's a senior, and come to find out now, he has family members that went to Del State before too, and he was just a great, an amazing young man. He already has a brand ambassadorship and a job with a major airline getting out of college already. A lot of things that people, well, you need to know that, just like we said, how this whole epiphany came about and black was good, airlines need black pilots.
Yes.
They're super limited.
Yes.
Right? So we can produce those right here at Del State. So aviation does fall under the College of Business. So they took me up the other day. We went flying. It was an amazing experience. They flew me over my house, everything. And I got to fly myself. I was super shook. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, that
I think I could tell.
It is, you know, you should be able to tell, because I was like, if you looked at my face good, you saw because it ain't like, you know, the movies, they be like, oh, we out of here. Right. No. He was like, okay, you ready? I didn't even say yes, and his hands was off the wheel, and you feel it right away. So I'm like, wait a minute. Then he's like, all right, we need to be good. You're going up. I said, I know, I'm not, I don't want to though, please. I don't want to go down too fast either. But it was just an amazing experience. And the whole thing is, it's just like you, Wayna, right? You've lived in Delaware all your life, and you went to your first homecoming, right?
Right.
Last year. And without you having that experience, you wouldn't know how wonderful it is.
At all.
So there's a lot of wonderful things we're doing at DSU, at the College of Business specifically, that people need to know about. So with me being a brand ambassador, that's a part of my job, to make sure that they know about it. We also have an equestrian program at Del State. So I know that's not big in the black.
Del State got it going on.
Del State got it going on.
Yeah.
And we've had it going on.
Yes.
But now people are starting to see. So we do have an equestrian program, which is not popular in the black community. And I know about equestrian now because my youngest daughter does it.
Okay.
So
I tried it.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I'm I have a fear of heights, but I don't mind flying. And I've always wanted to face some of my fears. So I went to have horseback riding lessons. I was doing great until maybe into the 5th lesson, and the horse threw me off. I was done.
You never got back on?
Wait a minute. I did.
You have
They
to.
made me get back on, but once I got back on to prove to them that I can get back on, I was done.
That's a wrap.
Yeah, I was done. Meeshach, we going on and on and on. We haven't even taken a break.
At all? Y'all get breaks? I'm the co-host. I don't know. I'm just here rocking.
Yeah, we take a break. But I'm really enjoying this. It's like, I was like, my throat, I'm like, okay, we need to take a break.
I got you.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Government doesn't make a move without an agenda, some type of plan. The problem is we haven't been on the agenda. Sometimes we're overlooked. Sometimes our interests aren't the interest of those in power. I'm your host, Kerwin Gaines, on DETV's new show, The Agenda. We're going to do our best to ensure that you, Delawareans, are knowledgeable about what's going on in the Assembly. Federal government, local government, it doesn't matter. We're going to do our best to ensure that folks that make the agenda on a daily basis have to answer for it. Let them explain what they're doing. If it affects you, it's on the agenda.
Welcome back to the Congo Hour. I really hope that you are enjoying the show just as much as I am. You heard me say, we haven't taken a break yet, so
that's my fault.
We're back. And now we're going to kind of switch it. Last week I talked about April being National Minority Health Month and Stress Awareness Month. And I got so many thank yous on social media, inboxes, text messages, that they were glad that we talked about it. So I want to continue talking about it if you don't mind, especially because you're a male.
Okay.
And so,
A black male too. We need it.
oh my gosh.
We need it. So,
But why do most think that they don't need it?
well, for so many years there was a stigma around it, right? So, first off, as a man, as a black man, and this reminds me of the conversation I had on Rebirth Radio Live. So, shout out to Shay
Marriott, who is my therapist. I shout her out almost every show.
That's my homegirl. She invited me on the show. I co-hosted the show with her, the live panel.
Yes.
So we were talking about that because it's the stigma that came with going to therapy, right? First off, it starts off with, if you're a black man, whatever happens, you're supposed to suck it up, right? Like, pause. But like, don't go crying, don't doing all this stuff. Like, just act like it didn't happen, especially.
That's how you're raised. That's how boys are raised.
That's how boys are raised, but I was raised by just my moms.
Okay, right.
So she didn't teach me to hide my feelings and emotions. Now, that didn't always play out well in the streets, right? Me out there being sensitive and all of that. But, you know, I wear it with pride. Like, I wear my emotions on my sleeve, right? But still, even with that, I wasn't going to be out there talking about, yo, I'm going to a therapist and all that, because then cats are like, you crazy.
You just got an appointment.
Well, so I started therapy late because of marriage. I probably wouldn't have went to therapy just for myself.
Okay.
Right? So it takes, a lot of times in life, it takes drastic things for you to make drastic changes, right? So if it was just me on cruise control by myself, I might not have went to therapy unless something crazy happened and I'm like, you know what, I need to go to therapy because I just ran outside, you know, in an all yellow outfit tripping. So I started therapy because of my love of my marriage. And then it evolved into, it went from couples to just my own personal therapy. Because then you realize, like, there are so many things that you have inside of you, right, that have happened that you don't necessarily, if you don't talk about it, you just keep it there, right? And even with me, I'm a talker. I'll say whatever I feel is part of the reason you love me or hate me, right? But even with that talking and just putting it out there, you need someone who is trained, right, who has the skills, the resources, and can give you tools that you need to just move forward. And I just feel so different since going to therapy that I would not tell people not, like, every single person should go to therapy.
Yes, I so agree. You mentioned, and you talked about this a little at the Rebirth Live, and it gave me a better respect for you.
What talking about therapy?
No, when you were talking about your relationship with your wife.
Okay.
And you said that there was a time where you had to wash the dishes.
Yeah, now.
And I was like,
yes, now. Like,
you washing dishes now?
I do that stuff. Like, you have to understand, like, you know, and I got to be careful because everything, she's different. I'm an open book. She's not, right?
Right.
But,
I love your wife, by the way.
Thank you. So do I.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ileana. But I just look at everything as a team concept. So, like, when we first got together, like, you know, I put it out there. My wife doesn't have a college degree, right? And when you was in Delaware, it was like, if you didn't have a degree, like, you wasn't doing anything out here. And I used to tell her, like, I got my degree, so what? That means we have a degree.
Right.
So go find something that you want to do, right? That's going to be something that keeps you happy and makes you money. Now, did we know that she was going to find something that was going to be her calling? We didn't, but she did in real estate. And if it wasn't for her, now I wouldn't be able to make some of the decisions that I could make.
I didn't know your wife was in real estate.
Yeah, she sells homes. Yeah, she sells homes.
Know that.
I don't know if I could shout out her business, but she has a community down there.
I don't mind if you...
No, not for you, for her.
Oh, she might not want you to.
Who knows?
Okay, well, we'll wait.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wait.
Ryan Holmes, that's all right.
Okay.
Who cares?
Oh.
Oh, damn. See why I almost didn't say it? Now, look. But anyway.
And I'm going to tell you why, but go ahead.
Why? Is it because of what they pay their realtors now?
Yes.
Hey, listen.
That is ridiculous. So I'm going to be honest. So she and I going to have to talk. So if I had somebody that wants to go look at a Ryan home, like,
you hear that, guys? So listen,
I can't.
That?
So that, I know you can't talk.
And that I can't, and that is out of her level.
Oh my!
So she just works at the model home. But as a realtor, I knew that's what you were gonna say. But once again, you know, the nature of business is supply and demand.
Yes.
And the way that the supply was, the demand was, excuse me, they could supply it however they wanted to. So it's not just them.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of things that have been cut back. But yes, if it wasn't for her and her position there, I wouldn't be able to do some of the things that, you know, I'm able to do. But I can honestly say, just like therapy, it's therapeutic at this point, right? So yes, I was coming up here to work every day and coming up to Camor's and making 6 figures or whatever, and whatever the case may be. But I missed a lot of time.
Right.
Whereas now I'm home, right? My studio's in my house, right? I do what I gotta do. I cook for my family. Like, that is therapeutic. You know, just in there playing music, cooking, and knowing everybody's coming home and happy and eating it. Like, so that's good for me. I make a bunch. My favorite, well, my kids might not. My favorite dish to make, I don't know, because the chili I made last night was super.
Chili?
Turkey chili, because I don't make I don't use red,
So
I don't eat red meat.
That's fine, but my sister, I felt as though nobody made chili like my grandmother used to make chili.
Yeah.
But my sister Nikki, my baby sister, I call her, she makes the best chili.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for I don't know how long to get another bowl.
I made some, well, not the night before. I actually had, no, last night, because I had the leftovers today. But, you know, just seriously, like that whole cooking thing, and I've learned to cook well now at this point. And just, you know, so back when I was young, and I used to look at what the definition of success was. I looked at it different, right? Because it's just like a marriage.
Right.
In terms of, like, there is no way that if I'm married to you for 20, 30, 40 years, there's no way you're going to be the same person.
At all.
That when we got married to all this, that's impossible. Yeah. If you're the same person, there's a problem somewhere.
That part.
Right?
Yes.
But it's the same thing with success. Like, I looked at it different when I was younger. I just looked at, you know, what everybody looks at, the money and I want this and I want to be able to do this and I want to be famous and this and the third. And life will humble you. And I know now success means that I can be with my family, right? That everybody is safe and secure. And the money, of course you need money, right? To survive out here, but that's not like, people that's focused on, y'all want to make as much money as I can, or look as good as I can and do all that stuff. At the end of the day, that's not really why we're here.
Right, superficial stuff.
It's superficial stuff. Like, we're here to love, right? Reproduce, hopefully, if you're blessed, and to provide for the less fortunate, to protect the weak. Like, those are the reasons why we're here. Yes. Like, no matter how much money you make, no matter how many Instagram followers or popular you are, when you die, none of that's gonna matter. The only thing that's gonna matter is the impact that you've had on people's lives. That's friends, family, strangers, enemies, whatever. Right. That's all that's gonna matter, because when you're gone, are people gonna talk about you?
Right, very true. That's why I always find myself working in some type of service industry where I'm helping others. I just get joy out of helping other people.
It's a reward.
Yeah.
Right? It's a reward.
It's definitely rewarding.
Now, of course, you have to balance it.
Oh, yeah.
You got to pay them bills,
right,
you know what I mean? But a purpose. Profit, if you could profit with a purpose, then it's a win-win.
Very good. So before we go into our next segment, I want you to look into that camera. And I want you to talk to the men that are watching the show and encourage them to seek therapy. Like only you can tell them.
Looking in my eyes, brothers. Don't play it. Listen, my brothers, we have been taught for generations that our feelings, our emotions, the people that we are inside does not matter. Whatever the front, what we're supposed to put out to the world of the strong man that nothing can help, that might be some people, that's not everybody. And if it's not you, then you need to talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. You would be surprised at how some little things can have impacted the rest of your life. And sometimes it just takes talking to someone who has the resources, someone who can pull it out of you, for you to then realize, wow, that was a problem for me. Like, that's the reason why I'm walking around here angry, like not even realizing it. So the same way, and another thing about therapy used to be finances.
Right.
Like, a lot of us didn't have health care and the money to say we're gonna go do a therapist every week or whatever the case may be, but you work, you have a job, right? You have benefits, most of you. Get some help, look into it. Don't be ashamed, don't be afraid. You'd be surprised how many people do it. And even if you are ashamed, I promise you, after some sessions and you start to get that good energy and vibration, you're not gonna care what people think. Like, I don't care to say I have a therapist. I put in a post the other day, like, yo, my therapist said it, Cass's tripping. Like, what? Your therapist said yes. Yes, it's okay. Married or not married. I mean, you can't if you're going through life not knowing who you are, that's a problem.
Yes.
So go to therapy, seek help. Just research it to find out some information, and you'd be surprised how much it can help.
Yes. On that note, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back.
How did DETV start, and how did you get here?
DETV started approximately 10 years ago in the basement of my home. I had an idea to show people of color doing great things, but what happened was I got to the point that I said, I'm gonna just show people all together doing great things. The motto and the moral was to bring people together instead of using media to rip people apart. And doing that, I just did a lot of hard work, a lot of free stuff, a lot of things of just showing people being themselves. I figured that media, and I saw that media wasn't doing that, so I just decided to give it a shot, not knowing that it would bring me to where I am today. I had a great, great journey doing it, met some amazing people, did some amazing things, worked on some amazing projects, and with just a lot of hard work and a bunch of sacrifice, I'm here today. I done worked on everyone's campaign in the state of Delaware. And now, I'm just doing what I do and doing it with friends. My biggest accomplishment right now would have to be this, hands down, without a doubt. We want to make sure that we inform the community wholeheartedly. So again, they can have all the information that they need. For more information, you can find us at detvch.com. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook under DETV. Be sure to check us out. Tell me what you think.
Welcome back to the Congo Hour. I don't even have to say I hope, I know you are enjoying the show this evening with myself and my special guest, Meeshach. Now, Meeshach, I know you got your stuff going on, and I just felt led to ask you, in all seriousness, I know we was joking, but I felt led to ask you to come and be on the show with me. And let's talk about people working together.
So, like you said, you got led to ask, right? Because I actually, once I came across social media and I saw the Congo Hour, right? And so I said, they're back on? Like, first off, my first thing was like, congratulations, right? Because I know the behind the scenes and all of that. So for y'all to be here right now is dope.
Right.
That's what I like.
You look so comfortable.
I'm supposed to.
But I feel like sometimes I want to like kick my shoes off, put my feet up on the sofa.
Why don't you? It's your show. It's the Congo Hour. Like, if you're not comfortable, how the view's supposed to be comfortable?
I know. Okay.
That's it.
I'm not
chilling.
gonna take my shoes off, but I am gonna get comfortable.
Get comfortable. Do your thing. You here with me now. It's all about a vibration.
Yeah, I'm
and
like,
feeling
way
good.
Too comfortable for me.
No.
Like, I want to feel like I'm in my living room, just chatting with you.
And that's what we're doing, talking to the people in their living room, right? So the more comfortable we feel, the more comfortable they feel.
Yes.
And I think that, speaking on comfort, I think that a lot of black business owners need to be more comfortable going outside of their cliques and their circle.
Did you say cliques?
Cliques. And their circle, the people that they grew up with and went to high school with, or, you could be running this and you got your best friend that's not even a part of it, but your best friend don't deal with this person. But this person could be a huge asset to your business, but you're not gonna reach out to them because she don't like them?
Yeah, you know what, that's one thing that I never got caught up in. Like, I have friends who are friends with someone that, for whatever reason, don't care for me. But I don't stop talking to that other person because their friend, and we grown.
We grown. But unfortunately, everybody, experience is the mother of maturity, right? So growth doesn't always just come with age. It comes with the things you're experiencing, right? So I'm the same way. Listen, if you look at the video on the stories, you said Meeshach from New York, right? But my friends will make fun of me now and be like, "You from Delaware?"
Oh, okay.
I've been living out here now.
You are Delawarean.
All these years, and I wear with pride. Like I have dual citizenship at this point, right?
Yes.
But that's the first thing you said, Meeshach from New York, right? And no matter how much I do, no matter how much I'll do out here and free events and all that, some people always just look at me like that. Right? So even going back to Del State, right? This journey with Del State wasn't always sweet, right? Like, it was tumultuous, to be honest with you, dealing with the university on certain levels, but then dealing with my alumni brothers and sisters so let me say the number one thing that I learned from going to black college, because I wouldn't change the experience for anything, right? Like I mentioned earlier, but I didn't come to Del State and get like super smart or whatever. Like, the classes was easy to me. Coming from the academy that I came from. Right? And when you go into the corporate world, they teach you what they want you to do anyway. The number one thing I learned at Delaware State University is how black people treat each other. Because I grew up in the Bronx in a melting pot. So I grew up around people who, black, well, not a lot of whites, black, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever, and we all talked the same and looked the same and acted the same. So it wasn't that, and we were all struggling for the most part, so it wasn't that thing. It wasn't until I came here and was around, quote unquote, my people, that I saw, for whatever reason you want to put on it, but just the level of jealousy, negativity, hate that can come about just from you not knowing somebody, not knowing about their culture, or somebody having something and you like, I don't have it.
Right.
The thing with me is I've always been the type to be like, yo, listen, if I don't have it and I like it, I'll try to go get it.
Right.
If I can't get it, I'm not gonna not like you because of it. But that's not everybody's mindset. And you can't change everybody, but I would think that at this point, like you said, we grown, I would hope that people would stop, right? Just remove your egos and the personal, oh, he said this to me back then. Listen, I came to school, I was 17 years old.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
I was gonna say and do things that was, but it wasn't nothing crazy. Like, I'll have people to this day be like, yo, you're so different now, but I remember the first time I met you. And I'm like, yo, that was 30 something years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
so
you should be different.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah, right.
So now talking about business up here, I see a lot of the same stuff still. What I do personally, I reach out to people, right? So I'm not gonna go, hey, put me on, but I'm gonna show my value, right? I'm gonna support, whether it be social media. Yo, all you people who's acting like you can't share something on social media, which is absolutely free, makes just no sense.
Right.
Right? Like,
know what you
I'm
said
not
that.
gonna share that stuff. Like, somebody care about your 500 followers.
Right.
Just
But
do it.
here's the thing with me, it's so funny how if somebody says, oh, where did you get such and such? Or it's like I share with them, but people don't share, like sharing resources. It's like, it's mine.
It's mine. I want to keep it to myself.
Yeah.
Like, and once again, you know, it can go back to we were always pitted against each other, right? So I get it. It's hard to come out of that mentality, right? Because we were forced into it from slavery. But we have a responsibility to ourselves.
Yes. To change the narrative.
To change the narrative, right? So I feel like the black men, the Generation X's and stuff, like me that came up the fatherless generation, we changed our narrative. It's a bunch of responsible fathers I know.
Right.
Me and my friends are fathers. When we were growing up, we didn't know what that meant.
Right.
Until it was watching the Cosby Show
Right.
and Will Smith and Uncle Phil and them.
Right.
So we changed that narrative for the most part. Of course, you know, media is still going to portray black men that they won't. But I feel that we can change our own narrative when it comes to how we deal with each other. And it just starts at the, you know, the smallest level. Start with you and your family and your friends and then just move out, move further and it gets bigger. So that's something I want to see, like more collaboration. And it doesn't have to be, I'm not saying everybody got to come mess with me. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
But if you know that I can make whatever you're doing pop and you're not going to come because you're like, I don't want to be a part of this, then that's your loss.
Right. Very true.
Because you already see, we here in the Congo Hour. I'm going to keep it pushing anyway.
Right, that part.
That part. And
Yes.
Go ahead.
So we're about to move into our community announcements. So I know you have some popping things that's coming up.
Yes.
We'll start with you.
So first off, let me give a shout out to, once again, happy belated to the Congos. They just had their party at Pass and SWAT.
Yes.
You know, so they want to do that. But coming up next weekend, my man Nudie and the influencers, We Back Outside, Can You Brunch Like a Hornet? That whole crew is doing like a spring homecoming for Dell State alumni in Philly. It's going to be a weekend of events, and it's just going to be that good energy and that good vibe. Like, we can't wait to just homecoming to come together. So shout out to them. Make sure you go check them out. Nudie, New Diddy, We Back Outside DSU. That's going to be a great event. But for me personally, the biggest thing I have going on right now is Yard to Yard. Like, we've done homecomings for 15 years, right? So, you know, college campuses, HBCU specifically, we call our campus the Yard, affectionately. But that's also the name of what you call Jamaica, Yard, right? So we're doing Yard to Yard. For the first time, we're going from the Yard on campus to the Yard in Jamaica. October 6th through 9th, we're going to stay at the Jewel Grand. So we're doing 4 days, 3 nights, Jewel Grand, Montego Bay. I'm taking care of everything in terms of entertainment, travel, everything. The only thing you got to do is pay that fare and pay your plane fare. And I promise you're going to have an experience like you cannot imagine, right? So just go to the website, October 6th through the 9th. So it's the fake Columbus Day or whatever they call it, Native American Day. So you have that Monday off. Right? So we're going to fly in Friday, and like I said, there always has to be some sort of purpose. So Friday when we're going, we do have a whole school that we'll be giving school supplies and different stuff to. We're going to get the kids to come to the resort. Then after that is just straight partying every day, night, rum punch cruise, like everything all included. So go to the website, dsuyard2yard.com. That's dsuyard2yard.com. We still got payment plans available. And honestly, it's just the evolution of what we've been doing. Like, we've been doing homecoming all these years. It's time to up the ante. And I know a lot of people, just like we was talking about cliques and crews, a lot of people aren't comfortable going places by themselves that they don't really know. Come with me, yo. I got you. Like, you already know. Y'all people on my gram, Radio Shack with an H, y'all know that I'm over there, and you know when we go away, we just like to have a good time. It's just an energy, a vibration.
Will you tag the Congo Hour so it can be on our Facebook page?
Yes.
On our page. So
you sure they want? All right.
Yeah,
I got you.
Fine.
All right.
It's cool. It's cool. you so
Yeah, I
much
got
for
you.
coming on.
Anytime you need me, I'm here. No, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're
Like I said,
welcome.
because, you know, especially in this type of setting, everybody don't want to invite me through. So the
I
fact
don't
that,
know why.
because, man, everybody's not comfortable like that, right? Whereas you say, oh, you know what, let me get comfortable too. Other people might feel intimidated, right? So
Oh,
I want to
no.
thank you for bringing me on the show.
Oh, you're welcome.
Giving me the opportunity. I just appreciate it. So
Aw.
I hope that,
We
you know,
appreciate you.
I hope everybody enjoyed me being
I
here.
know I
and
did.
Whenever y'all need me to come back, I'm here.
You're here.
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
I got you. I have you on. It's not speed dial. What is it?
I don't know, because
'Cause
you're
you
still using
saying,
quarters
oh, wait.
on the parking meter.
So I was putting quarters in the parking meter.
I'm like, what year is this, yo?
I use the app. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the app, but
It's all right. I got you.
I don't know. But so once again, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Congo, for allowing us to come back on the Congo Hour. I want to encourage you, if you're watching, you or your loved one, anyone that you know, I want to encourage you to pre-plan your funeral services. I like to call it celebration of life. So you can give Kimmy a call. I keep calling her Kimmy because that's who she is to me. Call Kim Congo at 302-652-8887 and schedule your appointment. It's real, it's easy, and Kim makes it so interesting, and I hate to use the word fun. Help me think
That's
of another
hard.
word.
I don't know. What's
Yeah,
under fun?
but it takes away, I'll say, the sting of when someone passes away, because the loved one had everything planned out. And I always use Bishop Morton as an example. She planned her funeral in 2015. So when she passed, the prices that was in 2015 are the prices that she was
smart.
locked in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very smart move to make.
Gotcha.
So the only thing that changes is outside charges, like cemetery charges or flowers or things of that sort. But please, 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 pre-plan your funeral. Give Kim a call. The number again is 652-8887. Well, next week, Trippy will be back on the show. Only God knows what we're going to be talking about, but I'm excited for him to come back on. So I pray that this week is the absolute best week of your life. Good night.
Good night, everybody.